Welcome to NC Wine Snobs as we savor the world one sip at a time.
On this episode of NC Wine Snobs on Vacation, we visit Southern Hart Brewing. Although, we were coming back from visiting in-laws. Does that really count as vacation? Located in downtown Hartwell, Georgia, Southern Hart is just a few minutes off of I-85. It's about halfway between Atlanta, Georgia, and Greenville, South Carolina. No need to book a tour when you come to Southern Hart. You'll actually be dining and drinking right in the middle of the brewery and have a front row view of the equipment used in the beer making process. If you want something a little bit lighter than a beer, they do make their own flavored hard seltzers. And if you happen to live close enough to visit regularly, they also offer a rewards program.
Given the large selection of beers, we opted to go for 2 flights of beer. And we started off with Sunset Wheat, Georgia on My Mind, Lake Hart Lager, and Black Dog Brown Ale for the first flight.
That Sunset Wheat was interesting. Definitely a wheat beer base to it. It had a lot of citrus flavor to it. A little bit of, that pith that you get on the outside of citrus. Had a little bit of that kind of tart bitterness, but in a way that really kind of balanced throughout the beer, not the kind that makes you go, ugh.
And then with Georgia on My Mind, of course, this had peach in it. It's a wheat beer, a little bit of peach flavor, and it also had some hoppy bitterness to it.
Just enough to kind of round it out, though. The Lake Hart Lager, and one of the kind of the themes that you'll see through our notes is sort of that hoppier end of things. So you typically think of a lager, typically think of something clean and crisp and light. This was a little bit more on the bitter side than I would expect for a lager. Very good beer. Don't get me wrong. We enjoyed everything we drank here, but just not really what I expected out of a lager.
And the next up on that first flight was Black Dog Brown Ale. It was more of a porter in its flavor. And man, we were tasting it. It had such a good flavor. We were thinking, what if they put this in a barrel, like a bourbon barrel? What kind of flavor would that give to it?
Well, it wasn't just the flavor; it was the mouthfeel of it. Was a little bit heavier. They really reminded us of a good dark porter.
As we continued with our tastings in the second flight, we started seeing more of that hoppy theme because we found that hoppiness in their Kolsch, along with some caramelized sugar flavor.
When we got into the IPAs, of course, you expect that hoppiness, and we were not disappointed. The Pirates IPA had a lot of good citrus notes, primarily leaning more towards that orange tangerine end, and then that nice punch of bitterness on the backside that you expect out of a good IPA.
And then the next IPA, I was really intrigued by it, a mango peach IPA. I was expecting juicy peach. I was expecting juicy mango. And then I was surprised because I ended up having more of a grapefruit citrus flavor with that hoppy punch you get from an IPA. And not so much the mango and the peach. I think it was subtle. It was there. It just wasn't in your face.
And then with the Irish Red, we kind of got away from that hoppy theme. This one reminded us more of a Scotch ale, quite frankly. Had the look of a red ale, but it reminded us kind of that malty, roasty, heavy Scotch ale type flavors up front. And then really some coffee and chocolate to round out the finish of the beer.
So overall, with the 8 beers that we had, we saw hoppiness as a theme, not in a bad way.
Right.
Everything was well balanced, good flavors. Some were surprising based on the names. We were expecting some different balancing on it. But at the end of the day, it's not what the name is, it's what it tastes like.
Yep.
And they were all good beers.
Yep.
If you happen to be hungry while you're at Southern Hart, be sure to check out their food menu. We decided to split a bison burger with their sweet potato tots, and it was delicious. And we kind of wanted a little something sweet, a little dessert at the end. And what they had was ice cream, which is great. But I asked Miss Chrissy, our waitress, you've got this pineapple on your burger over here. Could you grill up a slice of pineapple to go on my ice cream? And what do you know? Chrissy went back there and she had them grill up some pineapple and sort of made me a vanilla ice cream sundae with grilled pineapple and maraschino cherries and a little chocolate drizzle. And it was fantastic.
She absolutely delivered.
So shout out to Chrissy. Thank you. You made this adventure even more memorable than just the beer. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel with the notification bell turned on.